Josh from right here. Obviously, this was a fight that you had asked for after your last win in September. So I guess, what are the emotions now that not only did you win, but that was, as the broadcast was saying, one of the most impressive performances of your career?
Man, getting a fight like that, it just felt great. You know what I mean? Especially with a guy like Cody, and it's for the ranking. You know what I mean? It was something special, man.
And, during the fight, a lot like that first round, obviously, a lot of people didn't think it went your way, but his coaches were saying you might have been up 2-0 going into the third round. So, like, how did you feel that first round went and then going into the second round?
I mean, even in the first round, even though he take me down, he wasn't really doing much. He was trying to hold me down and stuff like that, and he couldn't. So I think I got all 3 rounds. So you know what I mean.
The broadcast said that, I think it was Anik that said you might be the best pound-for-pound athlete in the flyweight division as a whole, not just fighters. So I guess, what's it like to hear that from a broadcast on a massive card like this that a lot of people are tuning in for?
Say less. I'm the best.
And I do have to ask about, you asked if the UFC to let you carry your flag out. So I guess, did they tell you specifically, like, you cannot carry your country's flag out?
No, it's not the UFC really. It's like they have, like, some member have to approve it. So like we've been working, like, I forgot what is the name, but they have to approve my flag that it is a country. So Myanmar is a country. So I really want to carry my flag inside the octagon. So we're just waiting for them to confirm it. So we've been doing that. We've been trying to get my flags ever since I got to the UFC. So hopefully by my next fight, I get to carry my own flags.
And the UFC's been trying to help you out with that, or is that something
Yeah,
you have to
yes,
do?
they do. They do, like, the backstage worker and stuff like that. We talk about it. They doing the best they can, but hopefully we get approved for my next fight.
And on a massive card like this, when you bring attention to something like that, it's obviously going to lead to a lot of talk and probably a lot of people talking in your country. Have you noticed just a rise in popularity back there? Like, since you've been on the rise, have you seen MMA kind of grow in that world too?
Yeah, shout out to my boy, my big brother On La. He been giving me a shout out and everything. Help me out and stuff like that. So he's a big name. You know what I mean? I'm the new generation. So a lot of young generation from Myanmar, they really interested in MMA now. So in the future years, like, you see a bunch of Asian, not just Asian, but Myanmar fighters.
And then just last one for me, obviously, you called for this fight in September. Is there a name that you want? I know you wanted like top 10, top 5, but as the champion said, he's beaten most of the guys in this division already, so they might not get an opportunity quickly. Are there names that you're circling, or is this anyone in that top 10, top 5?
I don't really watch fights, so I don't keep up with the names. But the top 10 or top 5 will do me right.
Hey, Josh, right here. So you landed over 170 significant strikes tonight. It's actually the most you've had in the UFC so far. Did it feel like the most significant strikes you've landed in a fight so far in there?
Hell no. But we trying, we always trying to get better each fight. You know what I mean? So I didn't expect to land that much punch.
Durden's chin seemed to be unstoppable in there tonight. Did you think that if there wasn't a timeout late in that third round, you could have got the finish, or do you think he was sticking around till the end at that point?
Man, he's a tough guy. I knew I was in a war for 3 rounds, but I was looking for a knockout. But you know what I mean. My coaches told me to calm down, and you know what I mean. We was working on more violent punches and rather than power.
And last one for me. There were rumors circulating online before the fight that you might have had an injury coming in. Can you confirm or deny those rumors?
Hey, I did have injury in my last fight. My knee. I popped my knee. And shout out to the UFC. Shout out to Jen. She been helping me out. She worked for the UFC and stuff like that. She booked an appointment and all that for me. So now I'm good. Perfectly fine, man.
Josh, the flyweight division has been getting a lot of respect because of how many short notice fights you guys take, specifically you, Cody Durden, Charles Johnson. Is there any extra added motivation to represent your division, which is starting to get more fame?
Man, it's amazing that, people recognize the flyweight now. You know what I mean? Back then, it was dead. And you know what I mean? I show up to the flyweight, and all of a sudden, you know what I mean? And now everybody want to fight in the flyweight and stay active and stuff like that. So yeah.
And last one from me. As someone born in Myanmar, is there anything specific in your heritage that you bring towards fighting?
just my fighting spirit. You know what I mean? Go forward. Yeah, not scared of anything.
Josh, congrats on. Go ahead. Congrats on the win. Just want to shout out. I think you're the first person to bring their name and put it on the podium. I've never seen that before.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? And some ain't right, bro. I need a number next to my name.
With that being said, more than likely you will, not to spoil anything. What does that say to your hard work and where your career is at now? Is it where you would like it to be? Is it on track if you see that name on Monday? That number, sorry.
You know what I learned as I grow older is like that we have to be grateful for everything we have. You know, this was everything I wanted. You know what I mean? To be here, and I'm here, so you know I'm just grateful for everything. And also, you know, I'm grateful for my teammate, 4 Ounce Fight Club, and Aslan Boxing Gym, and Temple Construction. You know what I mean? So everybody that been helping me, I'm grateful.
Yes, sir. Last for me, we saw your hands on display. The striking was there. The boxing was on point. That left hook was there. Were you surprised that he didn't implement a more wrestling-heavy style, or maybe he got away from it once you stuffed those takedowns?
I think he was scared of my striking. You know, if he would have kept on shooting, he would get knocked out. You know what I mean? So that was smart on him not to shoot back to back. So that was the best thing he could do. Like I said, skill-wise, he's all right. He was just tough, man.
Yes, sir. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, sir.
Joshua over here. Josh, congratulations. When you go back and you watch a fight like this, you're letting the hands go. Obviously, he's visibly reacting to it. When you get back to the house and you have time to enjoy it with everybody, what's that reaction usually like with everyone?
Ooh, man, I be screaming like I'm up. You know what I mean? I love myself. You know what I mean? I love watching myself. I almost fall in love watching myself in the mirror, you know? So I love watching myself, man.
As it should be. I'm wondering, was the experience, I guess, how was it returning to the T-Mobile after your last one at the Sphere and everything else, and obviously everything in the backdrop? Like, I guess, how's the feeling to get back to normal, so to speak?
Man, just to be able to fight in Vegas is amazing. You know, we are 3-0 in Vegas now, so we're trying to keep it that way.
Congrats.
Yes, sir.
Josh, one more right here. Obviously, when we think of Myanmar and just the Burmese people in general and in martial arts, all we hear about is Lethwei over there. I'm curious, how is MMA as popular as that sport, or is it still like Lethwei is the #1 martial art over there?
No, it's just a new thing that just starting. You know what I mean? A couple years ago. So before it was like Lethwei, and like in a country like Myanmar, you know, nobody really get paid to fight. You know, the pay was terrible, so nobody really into those MMA stuff. But now that the new generation see us and stuff like that, so people are willing to train and stuff like that.
Do you think like the athletes of Lethwei could transition over to MMA, or is it just such a different sport without the headbutts and everything?
Absolutely, you know what I mean? The headbutt, we can remove it. So, you know, they bring that toughness into MMA where it will be a completely different game, you know what I mean? So you'll see us in a couple years. Sorry, I can't hear you, bro.
Can you hear me? Oh,
Yes, sir.
there you go. Does any of this feel surreal to you? You're 5-1 in the UFC. You just beat number 14 in the division. And you're only 23 years old. You made your pro debut a little over 3 years ago. You've had a very quick rise. Does this feel surreal at all?
You know what I mean? I'm just grateful for everything, man. My thing is to stay active, so I know that if I stay active, I was gonna be here. So you know what I mean? It is feel like surreal, but at the same time, I know I was gonna be here, so it wasn't too much surprise.
What do you attribute this quick rise to?
Stay active, man. Even when I was fighting in Fury, like the local scene, I was staying active. You know, fight every 2 months, every month or so.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Joshua, just one final follow-up. Obviously, when people talk about Myanmar and mixed martial arts, big name, Angla Song, who did his thing over and won championship. Obviously, we saw how the country got behind him. Anytime the fans could vote for him in public stuff, it got his name out there. Did his contribution and the fact that he was on a big stage kind of help grow the sport back home?
Yeah, it was him that started. You know what I mean? So he opened the eyes to new generation, just like me too. You know what I mean? So he lit the way for us. You know, for everybody. So yeah, shout out to him. All right, thank you.